And before that, we need to integrate some. Okay, maybe a normal approach will work where I don't need to. I need RX Swift here. From now on, I'm going to use RX Swift, but then I'm going to also always refer how to actually use it without RX to a maximum extent wherever it is possible. But 100% it should be possible because I'm more well versed with RX Swift. I'll be implementing more of RX Swift, but then I can always give a explanation of how you can do it in the regular way. So first thing first, before even applying the theme, let's build it without RX Swift right now. So I have the landing right now, and I'm gonna include the login page. Maybe theming I can keep for the next episode because that's where it makes more sense. So I'm gonna just do this right now without RX Swift, the regular approach. I'm gonna build one more target for the login right now. Framework login, which is gonna call it chat login. Chat room login will make more sense. I don't need this. For frameworks, we don't mostly need this team to be there because it's only for the running target, the application target where we need to have it. So that's a chat room login module which I'm going to build and move it to this side. Pretty difficult to do that. Okay. Chat room login info.p list change has to happen. So that should be let's connect modules and 13. That's it. And what else? I need to, similar to how we had created all the layers, at least let's create chatroom connect with same things like a view controller, storyboard. Gonna call it as chatroom login. Add a view controller. And then instantly create a view controller to associate that. Chatroom login view controller. Don't miss this part, should be within this same framework, chatroom login. Remove unnecessary code and chatroom login is going to reflect or use that custom class chatroom login view controller, also the identifier to instantiate that. Similarly, create the builder. These steps are the same. Now, chatroom login, I called it as file, it should be builder. Builder should import UIKit class builder. Same stuff, better to automate if you can. Build function, it returns a UI view controller. It should be public final static public, and then instantiate using that same storyboard structure. Like go here to this builder, same stuff, landing view controller. Similarly, chatroom builder should return, instead of this it should be chatroom login, instantiate chatroom login view controller. It should import. So let's, wherever it needs that import, you need to go to the build phases, import utility. I guess we did not import the utility for landing. It will give an error later, so it's better that you import it. Did we use it there? I guess yes. So that's also needed because if once you clean and rebuild, it's going to give you an error. So that's done. Landing, the import should happen. If you missed it, go here, dependencies and your dependencies. So every framework that you're adding, whichever you need, is gonna come here in the dependencies. So that's what it says. Let this go a little up because this is more like a utility window landing chat room login. So that's my view controller, and it's going to do the same kind of thing with import utility so that it can use this instantiate function. So that's instance is ready right now. So UI builder building, and now I have one more dependency available which I can pass to the uh, once the other thing is complete. It needs to once the landing page is, you say start from the landing page, it goes to the chat room login screen. So let's build the chat room login screen right now. Similar design, minor changes, but then it also looks very neat. Let me show you how. So I'm gonna include again some assets. So let that asset be very much part of this chat room login. Chat room login assets. Don't miss this. And I am gonna use at least two. One is this male icon, and there is one more for female. Something interesting I'm gonna do there, but then that I can show only after I include RX Swift. But you can also do a timer and do that separately. And then I'm gonna also have a login button. Three things. So these three icons are what I need for this login logging. And then let me go to the storyboard. I think I already have this whatever I have in the landing, the same title I can use here. First is title, center align it, then horizontally top space, and then I need to have a subtitle. The subtitle, I'm gonna say enter the following details and join the community chat. So maybe I just need it as 250 or something, and then vertical spacing, center. That's it. So it looks decent. Do I need some more spacing? Right, maybe yeah, it's enough. Let's connect, and this is 40, I guess. 45. Yeah, that's enough. This is going to be light 16. Maybe light 16. Keep less. Okay, that's enough. And now I need to have an icon, image view, not an icon, but most likely like an avatar. Right now it's like a static avatar, but I'm intending to make it dynamic. 200 by 200. Center horizontally and vertical spacing. That's my avatar image. It's going to come here, and we have more space in between these two. 28. I don't know how it's going to behave in a smaller device, Maybe I'll have to move this a little bit higher. 90 again, because it's smaller device, everything's not gonna fit in. But then yeah, let's concentrate on this specific height. I can maybe see how it's gonna look in a smaller device. Then we might have to change these width and height so that everything fits in. Let's do that later. So now let me add a text field, two text fields actually, two, and then maybe have it within a stack view. Center horizontally, and then have a vertical spacing. Okay, it's more going to be vertical spacing to the image view, and maybe left and right alignment, leading space, trailing space. I'm gonna include maybe 40-40 or more, but then 60 is pretty much okay. 60-60, and I'm gonna get rid of these borders. Maybe center it and then change the font. I like the other font which I used earlier. Where is my font? Arial rounded empty. And keep a placeholder called username. Yeah, that looks neat. And same thing here, placeholder called email. Maybe I center it again and then change the font. Arial rounded. 16 is enough. More spacing, maybe it's just right now 30. Okay, that's enough spacing. The height can be increased. 50. It's too less. 30. And maybe I can just now maybe have it as 20 between them. Looks neat. Okay, so that's the username, email. Now I need to add a button again for the login. Center it, bottom space. That's pretty much, and then maybe remove that font or the title and make it custom so that I don't get that same kind of error again. Now let's connect everything. Go back, assistant. Title, label, description label. This is more for the avatar image view. Username test field. Then the email text field. There is no password feature because I just can join any chat room after validating with my email. That's all. It's like a public chat room. Email text field. And then finally the button, which is the login button. That's it. So that's my controls. Now I can maybe add those images. Chat room, login view controller, private function, private extension, setup UI, here is where I call that first thing avatar image, UI image named. I see female is what I'm gonna keep. Bundle. Identify using class. I'm gonna refer this class chat room view controller.self and nil. So that's my image for the avatar, and for similarly for the button login button dot set image dot normal, and for the image similar I see login. I guess that should do. Just call this setup UI here. That's it. So it's not over because we need to transition from start to the login screen. So for that, let's go to the landing builder and add a completion. Escaping. This is pure non-RX, so you can always compare it with if whenever I implement an RX, you can always compare it with the non-RX way as well. So as far as possible, I'll try to explain how to do that. Void completion is what we are going to, because this is not going to do much more than just transition from one screen to the other. We have a small use case here where at that point maybe we can introduce some bit of VIPER, because we need to set already seen the landing page or something. So at that point maybe we can have a mostly it is going to be set in the user defaults or something, so you can use that. So on start, it's going to be like this, and also we need to grab that event for or the outlet. I rarely use this because I mostly rely on RX, so this function is what I'm going to add, but I'm going to replace it soon once the RX version is out. Action, I'm going to call on start tapped. So on start tapped, all I'm going to do is call that closure. On start tapped, on start, that's it. Value, because it's an optional, I'm calling it through the option, otherwise it's gonna crash. So go back here, view dot on start is going to accept this completion, so that when this completion gets called, it triggers it back to the source wherever it is going to be get called. So build is changed now, so it's called already giving you an error. So I have set this, so whenever on start is called, it's going to send it back through this completion. So this completion I'm gonna use, I think it's already giving you here, because I don't have a completion in this one. The submodules which I pass should match with whatever I have defined in the module. On start escaping point. So now this is giving me an error, because after route to landing, this is happening in the router. This is expecting a completion. Then that's what here, it's completion is happening here. So this is where I'm gonna send the login module, and login module can show itself at this point. So that's what is going to happen here. So landing module is defined. Let me go back to the builder router. Maybe it's better that I extract this out. That's fine, I guess. So let's define a function called route to login. Similar stuff is going to happen. pass. Now we need to include this within our router login. It does not give me any error, so compilation is fine. So I need to now pass the login module as well. So login module is plain UI view controller. That's it. So it's going to give me an error, so that I also import the login which I created right now to the window builder. So because I'm building this whole window builder, and window requires these couple of modules right now to transition from one screen to the other. So everything is happening within the window itself. First landing page, the window presenter itself routes, asks the router of the window itself to show the landing page. Once the landing tap happens on start button tap, it delegates back that to the same router. I'll show you that. And from there is where the landing, let me just create that login module equals chat room login dot builder dot build, similar thing, but it's a closure again. So I can just pass the login module. It should not give me any compilation error. So two modules we have passed to the window router, so that it can do two things. First is it shows the route to landing. Once that tap button is happened from the landing screen, where right now we defined our action, completion sends back that action which will be received here through this landing, because this we are passing to this module. If you go to the module, where is that module? Landing module builder accepts a completion. So completion is something where it can do some action. Like here it's nothing, it's just accepting an empty block. So this empty block accepting is happening within your view controller. So when you tap on this button, on start button tap, I'm just signaling saying this tap has happened. Now send it back to my builder. It's because builder, here is where builder gets to know, because this completion is accepting here. So builder gets to know this. So builder then can send this completion to whoever is the consumer of this. Right now it is the window router. Landing gets that callback here. So it's like a chain, goes from here, comes back here. And then I can just say, after I have done the tapping, I can say route to login. So route to login, this function gets called. Once that tap login module is shown, which is set as the current root view controller, once that tap happens, it gets a callback through this completion, and then I say now you show the login page. Because it's all happening in the main thread, I'm not going to dispatch it in any other thread right now. So now route to login, same code bit I can copy paste. Instead of this, nothing is happening. Instead of login, the landing, this should handle the login side. So this will set the login page as the root view controller after that navigation. After the tap, it's just replacing the current Windows root view controller with login. So once we have that after first landing launch, you don't need to have a landing page. It will directly hit this one instead of going through this channel. So that's why we have these two bits of code. So now let's see what happens. So it's gonna get this one, it's gonna get called as soon as we hit that start button. Let's see that. It launched this tap, comes here, it goes to the landing page. I tap on it, it shows you the login screen. The login screen is now shown. You cannot go back to the previous screen, it's only shown once. And you can, this is not yet done, we can, validation and all is coming up. I think I'm tired right now. It's like a long session, 2 screens we have covered right now, but the interesting parts are coming up in the upcoming episodes. We need validation for this. login button, how to enable, disable, all that. I'm going to integrate RX Swift right away after for the next episode, because that makes it pretty much easier to validate these kind of things, and then enable these, disable these things. From there we navigate to the next screen. So two things we are covering in the next episode: validation of this by including RX Swift, and theming. Like, these are not the colors which I intend to actually show. It should be the custom theme colors, because the background, I'm gonna start with a light theme, but later I'll also include a dark theme. So we will start with a light theme where the background is going to look similar, nothing different, because it's going to be white. But in the dark theme, these colors are going to change based on the theme applied. So in upcoming episode, we are going to see how to apply themes, plus how to theme this everything, and how to validate. From there we start. As soon as you hit the login, it's going to hit an HTTP server, validate your user, give a token maybe back, and then he can then start joining a chat. So as soon as he hits the login, he's already entered the chat socket server. It's up to him to join which chat room after that. So that's all coming up. Interesting episodes are coming up. I'm pretty much excited to actually cover all those, because these designs were something which I just created today. I was thinking, let's not make it like some junk looking app. Let it be decent enough for a representation. Aesthetics are very important for your application, so I thought maybe even cover that as part of this: how to theme your things, how to create a nice looking application, how to transition from one screen to the other. So I think I have covered basics of what we are trying to achieve in this episode, plus started with these aesthetic things. Now we are going to go into the much more details, into the core of the meaty things, like how we are going to interact with your server and everything. So that is coming up pretty much sooner, because my server is ready. Just that I need to just revamp the screens which I have created. It's not looking so pretty. So that's what I think. I'll be coming back soon enough, like in a couple of days, with more episodes. So until then, it's bye from me.